Unit 7, Our Environment. Good morning, children. Welcome to our STEM video lesson, and let's begin the day with the schedule of the lesson. Number 1, you need to have your STEM textbook with you. Number 2, we'll go through what we learned in the last lesson about our environment. Number 3, we'll look at different habitats and what is a habitat. And last but not the least, you have your homework, and you have two homework. That is, one, you have glossary worksheet, and also you have worksheet 7.1, that's our environment. Both the worksheets are attached in your Google Classroom. Before we begin the lesson, let's recap what we learned in our last video lesson. Last video lesson, we looked at what is our environment. So, by now, all of you should know what is our environment. All of us, we have an environment surrounding us. That means the place where we live, our surrounding place. And if we notice in our surrounding place, we have so many things. We have so many living things, so many non-living things, and we are just surrounded by them. We use them every day, and without which we may not be able to survive in our environment. So let's look at the picture and just refresh what we learned in the last lesson. We looked at living things and non-living things, and of course in living things in our surrounding environment, we have us, and then we have the plants and animals, right? They are the living things in an environment. And in non-living things, we looked at soil, food, water, sunlight, air. All these things, they make up part of our environment. These are non-living things, but these are very essential non-living things. Without the support of these things, we cannot survive in our environment. We also looked at natural resources. Natural resources is something that is found in nature, and we use it to meet our needs, and we need these natural resources. They are in abundant supply, they are 24/7, and these natural resources will never get over. Can you tell me some natural resources that we have in environment and we can use without fearing that it'll get over one day? Three natural resources are given in front of you: air, water, soil. Can you think of another one? Okay, I think some of you have guessed it right. The sunlight, right? Okay, and any more? Keep thinking. Besides the non-living natural resources, we also have living natural resources, which are the plants and animals in our environment, and without which humans or the planet or the earth cannot survive. They are basic, they're fundamental to our environment, and all living things and non-living things together make up our environment. In the last lesson, we looked at something called non-renewable energy, and in this, we looked at some renewable energy, non-renewable energy such as fossil fuels, coal, natural gas, and why it is called non-renewable. Non-renewable means we cannot keep using them again and again and again, over and over, like the renewable energy, because this non-renewable energy has a certain limit and can get over uh, after some time, because it takes thousands and thousands and millions of years to create this non-renewable energy. But at the rate which we are using, we may not have enough supplies. So this is something we looked at in the last lesson. As part of consolidation knowledge about renewable energy sources, I want all of you to click on this link and play this renewable energy source game and answer the questions and think about how we can save our environment and how we can save energy. After playing the renewable energy game, I'm sure you students have a much clearer idea how it creates energy and how we use the renewable energy. Now it's time to move on and watch this video about non-renewable energy sources and why we should not be too dependent on non-renewable energy sources, how they are harmful, and how it affects our planet. So please click on the link and watch the video. In today's lesson, we look at different types of environment. and different organisms that are found in different environments. The characteristics of environment in each habitat is very unique. Now here in the slide you can see three major types of environment. They're the land, freshwater, marine. However, there are many other environments, habitats present in our environment. Now each environment is unique to the organisms, to the plants and animals that live in that environment. It should be able to meet the needs of the organisms and the animal that lives in the environment. So each type of environment, it can only support a specific kind of organisms. Say for example, the land environment supports type of animals and organisms that have a different need as compared to animals that are living in freshwater or marine environment. We'll look at this in detail in the next slide. So here I want all of you to look into your STEM textbook, page 98, 99, and spend a minute reading through these pages. It tells you about different types of environment and how different animals adapt to different environment and how different environment they cater to these organisms. Say for example, look at this picture. Now, aquatic animals. We know what are aquatic animals. There are many aquatic animals we know. Animals that live in water. But there are also animals which can live both in water and on land. Now, these aquatic animals have certain specific requirement. That means that animals that are found in ponds, rivers and oceans, they support organisms, they take in oxygen that is dissolved in water. Say for example, us humans, what kind of oxygen we take? We take gas oxygen. But whereas the aquatic organisms, they take in oxygen that is dissolved in water, and most of them, they live in water. So their requirements are, their environment is different to the environment that is suitable for animals living on the land. Look at animal adaptation of snowshoe hare. Now we all know what hares are and how they look, what they do. But if they're found in a different environment, not in our zoo or not in our garden or not in a forest, but if they have to survive in a very cold climate in North America, okay, northern parts of North America, then they cannot be brown in color, they cannot be pink in color. They have to have certain adaptation if they have to survive in that environment. So here, look at the features that are highlighted here. These are the animal adaptation of snowshoe hare living in North America. All of you know, the grayish brown fur, it's turned to white. Why? We all know because it's called camouflage. Okay, he has to hide in the snow. If it's brown in color, he can be easily spotted by other animals and could be killed. Look at the large furry feet. That's the snowshoe. Because the snow is very cold and it needs some kind of protection, so it protects the soul from getting very cold and numb. Large ears, they help in detecting predators. They're very sensitive to noise, and even the slightest movement, these ears can pick up noise vibration, and it helps it run faster. It signals him of the danger. And here, monocular vision, that means the eyes can see very wide. It's not just straight, it can have a very large view, angle view of the field here. So these are the animal adaptations of a snowshoe hare in North America. Look at this one, okay? Look at this slide. Now this slide is about nocturnal animals. That means there are some animals you can find in the daytime, like cats, dogs, cows, and many other birds and species. However, there is a small percentage of animals which are very sensitive to light, and they like to come out only in the night time when there is no light. And these animals are called nocturnal animals. Do your research and find out more information about nocturnal animals. You find these nocturnal animals in caves, in deep dark places where there is no light or very less light because they are light sensitive. Look at this, another example of camel. We all know where we can find camels. Do we have camels in Hong Kong? No, because this is not the place for them. This is not their environment. Can we find them in North America? No, it's too cold. It's not their environment. We can find them in hot, sunny, dry, desert places. And to survive this harsh climate, harsh environment, they have to have certain body parts which make it suitable for them to live in that environment, such as thick eyebrows. Why do they have to have thick eyebrows and thick eyelashes, long eyelashes? To protect eyes from the sand. They live in the sand environment, desert environment. It's always sand. There are lots of sandstorms, and they have to protect their eyes from sand getting into their eyes. Closing nostrils, they can again a protection from sand. The hump, which stores water because they have to travel in the desert without water, say for week, 10 days, and this hump helps them to store water and help them survive such harsh weather. Thick fur is again protection because temperatures in the desert can be very extreme. It could be extremely hot in the morning and the temperature could drop down to a very low extreme minus in the night. So they need thick fur for protection, and also wide feet because it helps them move on the sand easily. Last but not the least, look at the concept map. This is something that we learned in our Unit 7 environment. That is environment. In that, we looked at living and non-living things, humans, plants, animals, non-living things from an environment. We have, you should know what we have, and the resources. We get air, water, soil, food. Fuels are non-renewable energy fuels as well, and how these and how we get building materials from our environment, one of the resources, and how it helps us beautify our life and our planet. Thank you for watching. Do remember to do your homework and discuss in the live lesson with your teacher.